Good morning. How are you? Thank you for coming back today to see what our next letter and sound is. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our challenges or activities or any of the other stories that we share on here, so don't forget. So today's sound uses two letters to make the sound. It's going to use the O sound, and it's going to use the A sound. The O and the A sound. But it puts them together to make a brand new sound. When they're together, they sound like O. O. Can you say that with me? O. Well done. O, like in goat. Well done. Shall we try and write our O sound together? Give those fingers a wriggle if you want to try. You can try in the air. Remember, you can try in sand or flour if you're not quite ready to write them with us. And if you're not writing them, stay with us because in a minute we've got a challenge for you today, okay? So to write your O sound, the first letter is your O, which I know you can do because you just go all the way round. Well done. And then next to that, you need to write your A. So round and down. Can you go back up in a straight line and then come down and give it a little tail? Look, I didn't quite connect to the top. Can you see the A, the O and the A? And together they make O. Well done if you've managed to write that. And I've tried it in my letters and sounds book as well. So if you are making your letters and sounds book, you can have another practice at making your O sound. And if I add a letter on the end here, a T, I have now made the word oat. I've used my O in a word and made oat. Well done, everybody. I know a story about a little girl who smells some yummy oats cooking. And do you know who's cooked them? 3 bears. A little girl with long, curly, golden hair. And she can smell the oats because they've been used to make some yummy porridge. Do you know that story? You're right, Goldilocks. And how many bears? I always forget. 1, 2, 3, Goldilocks and the 3 bears. So I think I might do another video and tell the story about Goldilocks and the 3 bears because she loves those porridge oats. So as well as having oat, here we go, I'm going to write it again because I made it a little bit too big. So there is my O sound and the T. If I put another letter here, I'm going to write my B. I've turned it into boat, and that is what today's challenge is for, boat. So I have made my very own boat just out of things that would have gone in the bin. So instead of just throwing them in the bin and making more rubbish, I tried to recycle them, which means using them again so that they wouldn't make just more and more and more rubbish, and I managed to make my very own boat. And here it is. Can you see what I used? Can you see what that was? An egg box. I used part of an egg box. Now I had to cut the top off, so if you need some help with the cutting, if you're going to be using scissors to make your boat, then make sure you ask your grown-up and make sure you're very careful. So I used an egg box, a stick from the garden, and then I did some more cutting and I made, can you see the shape of my sail? Well done, a triangle shape. You could decorate your sail if you wanted to. You could colour it, you could turn it into a pirate ship. So I made my boat with just a stick, some paper and an egg box. You could use anything you want. I think this might get wet and not float forever. So if you wanted to, you could use something plastic, maybe a yogurt pot. I've managed to make my sail stay by just sticking a hole in there. But maybe you might need to use some blue tack in the bottom of your plastic yogurt pot or the bottom of a bottle, and see if you can make your very own boats, and see, because it's very important for a boat to float. That word has the O sound in it as well. So shall we see if my boat can float. I'm going to try. Here we go. What do you think? I've got some water. You could try in a bowl of water like me. Maybe you could try in your bath. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a paddling pool in the garden. So let's see if my boat can float. My boat can float. I'm so excited. I'm going to take it out because, as I said, I think out of cardboard it will get wet and then it will get heavy, and then what do you think will happen? I think you're right. I think it might sink. So I won't be sad because I can try different ways to make different boats. So you have a go, see if you can make some different boats, see if you can make them float. And don't forget to keep an eye out for the Goldilocks story and see if she enjoys those porridge oats that I'm going to do later. Have a lovely day and we'll see you tomorrow for another letter and sound.